What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So, you know, I know I live in a country that's where hypocrisy is the normal. It's the norm now. But this is getting outrageous. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And I'm really beginning to think that Americans have really lost their minds. It's like we get caught up in this bullshit to the point where every time someone on the left does something that someone on the right have done, for some reason they take it to the next level on the person on the left, no matter what the situation is. Now, as you can see, the thumbnail, you got Michelle Obama and you got Donald Trump on the thumbnail. Now, the reason why I have those two individuals on the thumbnail because of hypocrisy. Nothing but hypocrisy. Hold on one second. Oh my God. I gotta make sure. Nothing but hypocrisy. So last night I was watching CNN, and CNN had his usual suspect, Scott Jennings, and they had Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, and they was talking about Michelle Obama not going to the inauguration of Donald Trump, and they were saying it was wrong for her not to go. And now they did admit that it was wrong for Donald Trump not to go in 2021. But this is my thing. I seen another channel, and I was reading the comments. All these people upset. They calling Michelle Obama petty. They calling her classless. All different types of names they associating with Michelle Obama because she's not going to the inauguration. But my thing is, how can you be a Trump supporter and sit here and criticize Michelle Obama and wish Michelle Obama wasn't the president? Now, Barack Obama is going to the inauguration, just not Michelle. But my thing, what's up, Laura? What's up, Leon? My thing is, how can you sit here and criticize Michelle Obama when Donald Trump didn't even attend the inauguration of Joe Biden? Not only that, he didn't even invite Joe Biden to the White House in 2021, prior to Joe Biden taking office. Then on top of that, he incited a riot onto the Capitol grounds. I'm just totally confused what's going on around here. She's classless, she's bitter, she's just all these types of names, but these are the same people who salutes Donald Trump on a daily basis, and he did the same thing. And matter of fact, his situation was worse than Michelle Obama because he was a sitting president at that time. See, this is what I say about America. Hypocrisy is the norm in America now. It's just a norm. We all are getting dumber and stupider, to be honest with you, because we sit here and let these politicians do exactly what they want to do, and then when someone you don't like do it, you want to call them certain names: bitter, classless. Come on, man. Wake up and understand. Ain't nothing no one can do that you can sit here and criticize unless you're going to criticize Donald Trump also. See, this is another reason why people don't take politics serious anymore. I was sitting here watching some of these confirmation hearings yesterday, and I watched Pete Hegseth confirmation hearing, and it was a joke. It was nothing but a joke. They asked this man how many push-ups he did. How many push-ups? That's a serious question during confirmation to be Secretary of Defense. How many push-ups can you do? How many genders there is? These are the questions. What is the dynamic of a bullet, of some type of bullet? These are questions that they are asking in a confirmation hearing to be Secretary of State. I mean, Secretary of Defense. And we supposed to take these people serious. We really supposed to take these people serious. This is turning into nothing but a joke. Nothing but a joke. That's what this turning into. Nothing but a joke. You know, I sit back and I look at normal Americans and ask them, what do you care about? Do you care about Michelle Obama going to the inauguration? No, you don't. What do you really care about? I thought people cared about inflation, gas prices, getting the best qualified individual for certain positions. But we're not here for that anymore. Everything is turning into a big joke. Everything. And it's sad. It's really sad that we're at that state in America where you can't take anything serious anymore. I don't want to hear, you know what? I don't want to hear anything else about DEI. I don't want to hear anything else about CRT. All these acronyms, I don't want to hear anything else about none of this crap. You know, people talk about DEI, you know, and it's cold, it's really cold for racism. Because that's what it is. It's built on racism and sexism. Because if you're a black person in a certain position, you're a DEI hire. If you're a female in a certain position, you're a DEI hire. Everything is around DEI. But when a white male who's not qualified for the position being given that position, they have nothing to say about that. There's nothing to say. And these are the Republican Party. This is the Republican Party who keep talking about DEI, DEI. That's another thing I heard all day yesterday from Republicans. DEI, DEI, DEI. While they're sitting there asking this guy, how many push-ups can you do? But these are the same people who keep talking about DEI. See, that's why I said this country turned into a joke. They have no morals anymore. No morals whatsoever. They sit here and lie to the American people's face like they really care about qualified individuals being in certain positions, and they really don't care. Because they only care about if it's a black person in that position. Then they want to holler DEI. Then they want to hire this person not qualified. They only got that position because of the color of their skin. But if it's a white male who's obviously not qualified, they have nothing to say. Just push him through. Ask him stupid questions and just push him through. No pushback whatsoever. I just laugh. So I don't hear no more about DEI. DEI is done in my book. No more DEI. No more CRT. No more none of that BS. I don't want to hear it no more. You know, I sit here and actually I see why people are laughing at America now. I see why America is nothing but a joke to foreigners now. They can't take us serious. Why should they take us serious when they see hypocrisy coming from this country on a daily freaking basis? Michelle Obama don't go to the inauguration. Everybody on the right upset, saying it's disrespectful. It's bitterness. It's just outrageous because Michelle Obama is not going to the inauguration. While in 2021, you had a sitting president who was bitter, disrespectful, who didn't attend the inauguration. A sitting president. The first time ever that a president did not go to the inauguration. But we got the nerve to sit here and talk about Michelle Obama not going. What in the hell is going on? It's crazy. I don't get it. I got some in my teeth. I'm trying to dig it out. Sorry about that. They're all trying to flood here for a reason. I'm not talking about immigrants coming into the country. I'm talking about foreign leaders, people who don't want to come here, but they sit here and laughing at us because of some of the most stupidest shit that have went over the last few weeks. They are laughing at America because we are stupid. We are hypocrites. Nothing but hypocrites. And y'all sit here and let these Republicans make us into a laughing stock. I sit here and watch. I put up a short the other day, well, today rather, of Marjorie Taylor Greene saying how they want to bust the unions. The same people that voted for them, they want to bust the unions. 60% of unions voted for Donald Trump in the Republican Party, and they want to bust those same unions up. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. Yeah, you're right. You're right, ADOS guy. The elections do have consequences. But my problem with that is it don't have to be hypocrisy, though. I'm talking about the hypocrisy of it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about asking the guy how many push-ups can he do, who is up to be the Secretary of Defense. That's his qualification. How many push-ups can you do? That's your qualification. Oh, I did 5 sets of 47 this morning. That's what his response was to that question. That's a joke. That is nothing but a joke. Everybody should be upset by watching that hearing yesterday, that confirmation hearing yesterday, and some of the questions that Republicans asked Pete Hesker was crazy. And then I found out something yesterday that I didn't know. This is how immoral this country is now. This guy that y'all want to put as Secretary of Defense cheated on his wife, got another one pregnant, and then cheated on that woman. And y'all want to make him the Secretary of Defense. The guy has no morals whatsoever. Well, see, Alpha, this is the problem, Alpha. See, y'all want to hold black people to a higher standard. See, y'all want to hold black people to a higher standard than you want to hold white people to. I guarantee you, if that was a black person sitting in that seat, he never would have got questions like that. He never would have got questions asking how many push-ups he can do. And I guarantee you, if that black person had cheated on his wife and had a baby out of wedlock with another woman and then cheated on that woman, I guarantee you Republicans' hair would be on fire right about now. Put money on it. See, y'all are missing the whole thing here. See, the whole point of me doing this live is about hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. DEI. See, this is another thing also that came up in that hearing yesterday. They talked about standards. They talked about not lowering standards to allow certain people into the military or to allow certain people into combat units. They said, no, you don't lower the standards. You keep the standards the way they are. If they get in on those standards, that's fine. But see, this is the problem with that, though. They're lowering the standards to put Pete Hesker in the position they put him in. They're lowering the standards for him because he's not qualified. But they lowered the standards for him to have that position. But they got the audacity to sit here and tell you, we're not going to lower the standards for females to get in combat units. We're not going to lower the standards for no one else, but we're going to lower the standard for the guy who's going to lead the Department of Defense. See, hypocrisy. See, that is the whole purpose of this live, to call out the hypocrisy. There is really no mandate. Honestly, there's no mandate. You know why there's no mandate? Honestly, because basically, Trump only got 49%. He only got 49% of the votes. 49% of the votes. What's up, Tehran? 49% of the votes. So that means the majority of the country voted against him. The majority of the country voted against Trump. So where's the mandate at? Where's the mandate? Just understand that, Alpha. The majority of the country voted against him. Yeah, he won the popular vote in a five people race. It's five people in that race. Yeah, he won the popular vote, but overall, he lost the majority of the votes. So where's the mandate? There is no mandate. But my thing is this right here. We need to stop the hypocrisy. We need to cut the hypocrisy out altogether. It's crazy. No. Like I said, in a 5-person race, yes, he got more votes. But do you realize in most states, if you get 49% of the vote, they have a runoff? Like in Georgia, for instance, if you get 49% of the vote, they have a runoff. Because they didn't get the majority of the people, they get 50% of the vote. That's not the point, though. Let's look at the totality of the votes. The majority of the votes was against Trump. I know I'm playing a little wordplay here. And I get it. Trump got more votes than anybody in the race out of 5 people. But he didn't get the majority of the votes. That's my point. We need to understand that, Alpha. Y'all do me a favor, hit that like button for me, please. Give me some thumbs up. I got 3 thumbs up. Give me a couple more thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And with 7 people in the room, can y'all 7 people hit that thumbs up button for me, please? If I can get at least seven thumbs up, I really appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. You know, I get so fired up because I get so sick and tired of hypocrisy, and I watch everybody. You know, I was watching Anton Daniels, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, because I was actually reading his comments on the video he did about Michelle Obama not going to the inaugurations, and I never seen so many people who just out of touch with reality. I really haven't. I really haven't seen that many people who just out of touch with reality. It's like hypocrisy is just the new norm in America now. It really is, and it shouldn't be. You know, if you believe what you believe in it. But when you see someone doing the exact same thing that the person you believe in doing it, don't call them bitter. Don't call them disrespectful. Don't call them names that you didn't call the person who did it originally. Because they didn't call Trump disrespectful. They didn't call Trump bitter. You know, they didn't call him all those names. We need to stop the hypocrisy. We really do. And if we're gonna have certain standards in this country, everybody should meet those standards. Everybody should meet those standards. We shouldn't drop those standards just because he's a white male and Trump loves him. So we're gonna drop the standards for him while he's him preaching about having higher standards for females that you shouldn't drop. And he's right. We shouldn't drop the standards. But the problem is they're dropping the standards for him now. And a few more people they're dropping the standards for. And I think it's ridiculous that we sit here and let that happen. And no one has anything to say about it. It's okay. It's okay to drop the standards for him. But he's going to go in and hold everybody else to a higher standard. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That is really, really crazy. It's ridiculous. And that's why I said I don't hear nothing else about DEI. Nothing about DEI. I see him watch Charlie Kirk the other day talk about DEI and how the fires in LA was out of control because of DEI hires. Because he got a female fire chief, which is stupid. You know, saying that they're renting out all the white males. They want to get rid of all the white males, which is ridiculous. These are the things that we listen to every day in this country. And we have black people who actually agree with Charlie Kirk. That's what gets me. When you got black people agreeing with a racist, and you ask yourself, how did you get your position? Was you a DEI hire, or did you earn your position? That's what I want to ask some of these black Republicans. How did you get your position? Did you earn your position, or was it DEI? Oh, so the only one that get put in that box of a DEI hire are black liberals. But black conservatives, they earn their position. They earn all their positions. Every position that a black conservative got, oh, they wasn't DEI hires. They got their position through hard work and grinding it out. But for some reason, those same people believe that black liberals got all their positions because of their skin color. Make that make sense. More hypocrisy. More hypocrisy. And it's sad that we got brothers and sisters out there feeding into that race-based BS. Now, I was looking at another black conservative the other day, one of these YouTube mega supporters, and he was talking about how white people don't talk about race like black people do. And I was saying to myself, I said, what did the brother mean white people don't talk about race like black people do? But then I thought about it. See, white people don't mention the word race or racism. See, what they do, they use words like DEI. Oh, I'm sorry, acronyms like DEI or CRT. See, that's how they talk about race. See, when they talk about DEI, they're talking about race or sex. When they talk about CRT, they're talking about race. But see, when you got black people who sit here and support that nonsense and say, oh, white people don't talk about race. They don't talk about race. Black people talk about race. Every election cycle, what do you hear? You hear a CRT. You hear a DEI. You hear about woke, which woke also is another code word for racism. You hear about all these little code words. See, that's why they said white people don't talk about race, because they don't really mention the word race itself. They just mention those acronyms, which is kind of crazy. But black people need to understand, y'all need to wake up. Y'all are really doing more harm to yourselves than anything. Because y'all are out here helping these races, y'all co-signing these racist beliefs. All black people are dumb. They can't get nowhere without some help. They need help. Everything that happens to black people, every time black people make it to the top, they got help to get to the top. Even though there's two different standards for a white male and a black male, but like I said, a black male got to be up here, got to exceed expectations. A black male got to exceed every expectation in the world to get to the top. While a white man, all he had to do is meet the minimum requirements to get to the top. But see, if I said that out loud, people say, "Yo, that's not true. That's not true." Well, why do you think they keep shouting DEI for? All these qualified black people in these positions, that's not good enough for them. They got to exceed expectations. They have to exceed it. Just understand that. I just don't get it. Why are we sitting here co-signing racism? And you're right. People don't care anymore. I really don't think people care anymore. I think right now, I think everything is a money grab. It's nothing but a money grab. People have learned that if you put out certain content, you're going to make money off of it. You're going to make money. That's why when I watch all these so-called black mega supporters, it's all a grift. It's nothing but a grift. They're making plenty of money demeaning and degrading other black people. That's why when you turn on Brandon Tatum, majority of his videos about black people in a negative light. When you turn on this guy called the Black Conservative, most of his videos about black people are in the negative light. When you turn on Anton Daniels, most of his videos about black people is in a negative light. What's up, Super? Why? Do y'all see anything positive about black people? I'm just curious. Do y'all see anything positive about black people? When y'all making all this content about all this negativity about black people, do y'all see anything positive about black people? It just boggles me. It's crazy. I was watching and I'm gonna kind of like go in a little different direction a little bit. I'm gonna kind of switch a little bit. I was watching Phil Scott the other day, and he was talking about the LA fires, and he was talking about reparations. And as he was talking about reparations, I started to think about some things. Why these so-called reparation people never go after Republicans about reparations? Now, Phil Scott lives in Texas. Greg Abbott. Now, we all know about June 19th. We all know that Texas was the last state to free slaves, you know. But why isn't Phil Scott, what's up, Mr. Docs? Why isn't Phil Scott petitioning Greg Abbott for reparations? But he's talking about Gavin Newsom in California in reparations. But he's not talking about Greg Abbott in Texas in reparations. Texas, the last state to free slaves, should be the first state to pay reparations if you're serious about paying reparations. But you know the problem is, this is the problem. They want to attack Democrats. If y'all notice, when they talk about reparations, they only talk about reparations when it comes to Democrats. They never talk about reparations when it comes to Republicans. How many people have you heard who's looking for reparations talked about Donald Trump and the Republican Party giving them reparations or withholding their votes because they can't get reparations from the Republican Party? You don't hear that. Just think about that. Ask yourself, why don't people like Phil Scott petition someone like Greg Abbott in Texas about reparations? And I'll wait on the answer to that. See, I'm so sick and tired of these hypocrites. More hypocrisy. Democrats are the bad guys when it comes to reparations, but we don't even mention Republicans. We don't even try to mention Republicans. We just want to mention Democrats. That's crazy. I sit here and watch this dude talk about how Gavin Newsom is giving so many dollars to this fund, to this legal fund to help immigrants with their legal defense, which I have no problem with that. That's California money. I don't live in California. But at the same time, we have Phil Scott, who resides in Texas, a red state, and he's afraid to approach Greg Abbott about reparations. See, this is why I can't take that movement serious. All that bullshit about reparation is bullshit. These people ain't serious. They ain't serious at all. Because if they were serious, they'll be lobbying both parties for reparations, not just the Democrats. But see, this is the problem, though. They know Democrats will actually try to get them reparation if they had enough people in Congress to fight for it. But they don't have enough people because you got stupid Negroes like Phil Scott who's talking against the Democrat Party while wanting reparations. That's how stupid that is. Yeah, I know Obama is gone. Michelle is not going. No, that's not true. I looked it up. It was more or less led by Democrats. What's up, Mean Mugs? Now, who you wrong, who? That was led by Democrats. It wasn't led by Republicans. But this is my thing altogether, though. Even if it was led by Republicans, why isn't it nationally led by Republicans then? Why wasn't it nationally led by Republicans? And it goes back to my point again. Why we're not talking to Greg Abbott about reparations in Texas when Texas was the last state to free slaves? That's my main point right there. When you got somebody like Phil Scott who lives in Texas and talk about reparations, but he talking about what's going on in California. No, let's talk about Texas. Let's talk about why Greg Abbott is not being approached on that subject of reparations. Let's talk about that. That's what I want to talk about. See, that's what I'm talking about, who? That's what I'm saying. They know the Republican Party is not going to give them reparations. So what they do, they go in and try to degrade the Democrat Party, saying that they are not going to give their vote to the Democrat Party until they get reparations. Do that really make sense? Does that really make sense? I'm not going to vote for the Democrats because they won't give me reparations. But I go vote for the Republican Party, in which we already know they're not even going to talk about reparations. Oh, you did, me, Mug? You met that coward in real life? Because he's a coward. He's nothing but a coward and a fraudster. Well, the thing about it is there has been several bills in Congress where Democrats, matter of fact, Bernie Sanders tried to push a bill, but they just didn't have enough votes on the bill. So they have been trying to push the issue, but they don't have enough votes. That's the problem. People need to understand you need a certain amount of votes in the Senate to get that passed. You need the House to be controlled by Democrats to get it passed. And they haven't been in that position. They need 60 votes for that. You need 60 votes in the Senate to get anything passed like that. And that's the problem. They haven't had 60 votes. So we need to understand that. It's not as simple as saying write a bill and pass the bill. No, it's not that simple. But the problem also is all these people out here pushing reparations, how many of them people are actually going to Washington, D.C. and lobbying these congressmen and women to help pass that bill? They're not. They're just talking. They're sitting on YouTube. They're sitting on Instagram. They're sitting on TikTok and just talking. They're not trying to really solve that problem. I'm going back once again. Why isn't Phil Scott approaching Greg Abbott in Texas about reparations? The last state in the union to free the slaves. Why? But see, that's your Republican Party, though. Who? That's your Republican Party doing that. They're the one who giving tax breaks to the rich. Now, see, that you got to talk to the Republican Party about that. Why they won't vote for reparations, but they'll vote for tax breaks for the rich? That's just a Republican Party. But see, you got to realize Democrats don't push that bill. I just look at the votes. I look at the breakdown of the votes. The votes, you can't lie when you vote. So when I see Republican pushing certain bills, that could be true, good cop, bad cop. But when I see Republican pushing those bills, I see Democrats try to push bills to raise taxes. I see Republicans pushing bills to cut taxes. That's what I see with my own eyes. Now, you could be right. It could be a good cop, bad cop situation where Democrats know that Republicans are going to push for higher taxes, so they do the opposite, but at the same time, they really rooting for it behind closed doors. Because like I said, a lot of those senators are millionaires. A lot of those congressmen in the House of Representatives, they are millionaires too. You know what, honestly, I never really thought about those tariffs until Trump came back in and started talking about them again. Because I don't really think those tariffs really did anything significant because of what was going on with the covert. So I think that has something to do with it, I think. But I'm like I said, I'm not 100% sure about that. Now, you say he added his own tariffs. Now, where was that? Because I don't recall that happening. Like I said, I'm open-minded. Like I told you before, I'm open-minded to the point where if Joe Biden put on tariffs, let me know. Because I didn't. When it comes to that part, I'm not sure about that. So, only thing I can say is right here, when Donald Trump did his little trade war in his first term with China, it cost this country $27 billion straight up. He had to go and bail out those farmers because of what China refused to give them. China stopped buying their grain. So he had to actually bail them out because China refused to go along with what Trump was talking about. And I think that was the biggest issue when it came to those tariffs and that trade war. It cost us money, the taxpayers' money. And some people said Donald Trump took it too far. And that's why I said it's not about the tariffs themselves. It's about what Donald Trump is trying to do, and people are not going for it. So they hurt the farmers. The farmers are still hurting today because when China stopped buying the grain, they start going to South America and buying those people grain, Brazil. That's what happened, and that's why farmers are still hurting today. It's not because of Joe Biden. It's because of what Trump did in his first term. And that's why you got those farmers, they're begging Trump not to do it again. Even though they voted for him, but they're sitting here begging him, don't do it again. Please don't enforce those tariffs. Because they know what's going to happen. Even though the idiots voted for him. I have never seen so many people who voted against their own freaking interests. Unions voted against their interests. Farmers voted against their interests. Immigrants who are legal, but they have some undocumented family members voted against their own interests. So many people voted against their own interests. Then they crying today. Oh, please don't do it, Trump. Please don't do it. What? That's what you voted for. He told you what he was going to do. But you still went out and you voted for him. That's on you. That's your problem. You know, like somebody said earlier, Alpha said earlier that elections have consequences. There you go. You voted for him, and this is the consequences from you voted for him. So now suck it up and deal with it. Just like you dealt with it in 2018, you're going to deal with it in 2025. But people don't want to hear that, though. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that at all. You know, the only thing they want to hear is Donald Trump. Oh, another thing also. All through the election cycle, inflation, gas prices, inflation, gas prices, food prices, all inflation. What is the first bill they passed? Transgender, culture war. First thing they passed is transgenders. That's the first bill. For the last year and a half, 2 years, we've been hearing about inflation is too high, gas prices too high, food prices too high. For the last 2 years, all we've been hearing about. All of a sudden now, we're talking about the first bill, transgender. And the funny thing about that is, they talking about bathrooms and stuff like that. And it was a proven fact that in Mar-a-Lago, at Trump Club, Caitlyn Jenner, transgender, uses the female bathroom. And no one says anything about it. See, that's how much fake outrage this is. See, these people never fake. Everything they do is fake. Outrage when Donald Trump himself allows transgenders to use the same bathroom that they identify with. Make that make sense. Make that make sense now. Make it make sense. Can someone make that make sense to me? We sit here getting in an uproar over transgender using the bathrooms in Congress while the president himself The president-elect himself allows transgenders at his club to use the bathroom that they identify with. Hypocrisy. More and more hypocrisy. That's what that is. We need to stop the hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is the norm in America now. It's the norm. Nothing but the fucking norm now. And we need to understand that. We had let me show you how messed up this Congress is. I was watching Jasmine Crockett yesterday, and Nancy Mace got into it. Now, Jasmine Crockett said, "Child, please." Nancy Mace got upset and said, "I'm not a child." So they go back and forth. Nancy Mace says, "We can take it outside." Now, what do take it outside mean? Usually when somebody tell you, "Let's take it outside," that means they want to fight, right? They want to throw some blows, right? They want to, throw some fists. They want to catch that fade, right? So I'm listening to this play out, right? And as I listen to this play out, Gomer Pyle, James Comer, he steps in and said, "Oh, that could mean anything. That could mean you want to go outside and talk. That could mean anything." And I'm like, if this guy really goes in here and play in our face like he don't know what that means when you said we can take it outside? That's how stupid our Congress is in America today. That's how much of a bigger joke it is today. We sit here, we got people who want to fight over words. Just because she said, "Child, please," she want to go outside and fight. No, and I think she would have got her ass whooped if she would have went outside and wanted to throw some hands. I think Jasmine Crockett can throw some, she can get down, I believe. But anyway, my whole point is, these are the type of people who are running America right now. Hypocrites, fire starters, gaslighters. That's what they all are. They want to do what they want to do to get attention for their own benefits, to get more donations. That's the country we live in now. We live in a country that's full of hypocrisy. That's it. Nothing but hypocrisy. And it's sad. It's very sad that we have come to this point in America where we can't trust no one. I don't give a fuck if you're on the right or the left. You really can't trust no one no more. You can't trust the right. You can't trust the left. You can't trust an independent. Look at all these people who turncoat. Look at Mark Zuckerberg, who just fell to his knees and started sucking Donald Trump off. These people have no morals whatsoever. Look at Jeff Bezos. Another one. Fell to his knees, started sucking Trump off. These people have no morals. They do what they do to benefit themselves, and they say, fuck the ordinary Americans. Because that's what they're saying. We don't care about y'all. We take your money. You work for us. We treat you like slaves. But we don't care 2 cents about you. We going where the money at. Who gonna protect our money? It's crazy. Yes, Super, I really dislike Trump. Trump is not good for America. Trump is not good for nothing. Nothing at all. But like I said, we need to wake up. We need to wake up and understand. Stop giving these politicians the much power that they have over us, because they don't care about us. They do not care about us whatsoever. None of them do. None of them. It's all about self-benefit. They're making money off of keeping us outraged. That's how they're making their money. That's how they stay in power. They didn't pass no bills in the last Congress, but 90% or higher got reelected. I got you, Mean Bug. I understand that one. That's the way it's going to have to be. You care about you and yours. That's it. Because we live in a country now, no one cares about you. None of these politicians. Like I said before, they didn't pass no bills, no significant bills in the last Congress, and 90% or higher got reelected. Make that make sense. You go to your job and don't do your job, Ask yourself, will you have a job if you stop working? You will not have a job. The only place in America where they don't have to work and still get rehired is Congress. The only place in America where you don't have to do a job, or you can pretend like you're doing a job and it's okay. You get $174,000. Matter of fact, hold on. You get $174,000 a year. Not only that, they try to get themselves a raise for doing nothing. They try to sneak a bill in there to give themselves a raise. So let's make that make sense. You don't have to work. You're not being held accountable by no one. So you don't have to work. Then on top of that, you give yourself a raise. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. That is so crazy when you can give yourself a raise for doing nothing. For doing nothing. But the American people, they fight amongst themselves, though. While these people in D.C. is giving themselves a raise for doing nothing. They didn't pass not one significant bill in the last Congress, and they had the audacity to try to give themselves a raise. But they won't give minimum wage, though. They will not raise the minimum wage, though, in this country, but they give themselves a raise. Now, minimum wage is $7.75, right? Been that way since 2019. No, I'm sorry, since 2009. Yeah, 2009. 2009. It's been that way since 2009. Now, Congress, they make $174,000 a year. $174,000 a year for working maybe 4 months out of the year. But they won't raise minimum wage, but they give themselves a raise. Make that make sense. Just gave my homie a huge bonus check this Christmas. Oh, your homie work for you? Shit, you giving bonus check? Then I need to come learn how to drive a truck. Then come work for you, mean mug. You giving out bonus checks like that? Shit, I didn't get me a huge bonus check. But nah, no, serious though, man. We need to stop the hypocrisy. It's just so much hypocrisy in this country today. It's just a norm now. You know, we don't think before we open our mouths anymore. And it goes back to like I was saying about Michelle Obama and Donald Trump. You know, so many people upset about Michelle Obama not attending the inauguration, but at the same time, these same people sit here and watch Donald Trump act like a baby in 2021 when he didn't even invite Joe Biden to the White House. And he didn't even attend Joe Biden's inauguration. Well, we see him today, we talking about Michelle Obama. That's crazy. That's really crazy. And it's to the point where it shows you we are nothing but pawns in this game. Nothing but pawns. We're being used at every turn by the media, by the politicians, and by whoever else. We're being used. They're keeping us bitter and outraged just so they can stay in office. Oh, you grew up with it? That's good looking out. Good looking out. You know, that's what everybody should give back to the community. You know, if you find somebody that you grew up with that you can trust and you know that person a hard worker, hey, give back. Especially when you have made it and you at a certain point in your life. That's a good way. That's a good thing to do. You know, nothing wrong with that. We need more people like that. And we had, you know what I mean, Mug? We had more people like you and the way you think in the black community, this would be a better place to live. It really would be. But as black people, honestly, we're a little selfish. We are a little selfish. Like I said, me Mug, she might be bitter, but Trump was bitter also in 2021. What's up, T Black? Trump was bitter also in 2021. So that's the whole theme of this live, the hypocrisy. We can call her bitter, but do we call Trump bitter? You know. But like I said, going back to what I was saying though, but if we had more black people who actually reached out and gave back to the community, we would be in a better spot. in today's society. We really would be. But we don't have that in our community. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I have somewhat given up on the black community. I really have. And the reason why, because what I see every day in my everyday life, I see a whole bunch of people who don't care. They really don't care. You know, um, I told this story before. I've been living here in this apartment for 7 years, over 7 years. And I've seen the neighborhood change in those 7 years. And it's not changing for the better, it's changing for the worse. I'm going to be honest. It's us who's changing it for the negative. It's us. You know, I go to the dumpster, throw my trash in the dumpster. I see trash on the ground. You know, it got so bad. It got so bad that the management had to put a sign on the dumpster to remind people to close the dumpster, to close the doors on the dumpster after they put their trash in. But the problem is they're not even putting their trash in the dumpster. They put it on outside of the dumpster, and then they leave the door open. These are black people. These are black people. These are my people. They're not white people. They're not Hispanic people. These are my people. We are destroying our own neighborhood. And this is one of the reasons why I'm kind of giving up on the black community. You know, I sit here every day. But meanwhile, this is my thing about Tommy. Like I said, Tommy was on the right track, but the wrong message. He gave his message the wrong way. See, there's a way you can talk about these issues without being very vulgar about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing about it. Let me tell you something. Tommy is a prime example of how you kill your own self business-wise. And the reason why he killed himself business-wise, because that little thing he did, it wasn't a good thing, good way of putting things. Y'all might enjoy the entertainment, but it killed his whole career. He could have been doing better than he is now if he had learned how to word things the right way. But he didn't know how to word it. You can talk about the black community and some of the things that goes on in the black community in a negative way, but you can talk about it in a way that it's not going to get you blackballed. Because that's what happened. You know, he got so bad that even Candace Owens wouldn't even talk to him. That's how bad it was. So my thing is, what I see with my own eyes, I can talk about it, and I can talk about it in a respectful way. I don't have to say nigga this, nigga that, and all these niggas, these Hannigans and all this BS. I don't have to say it all. I can just tell the truth from a normal perspective. I don't like what I see. I don't like seeing garbage that we put out there, that we are destroying our own neighborhood. I don't. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah, but it's not like, Rumble is not like YouTube. Twitch is not like YouTube. Fox News, they'll throw him up there every now and then, but he's not up there on a regular basis. You gotta understand, Fox News had Jesse Peterson on there, so that's not saying too much. It had Brandon Taylor. All those people, it is what it is. Like I said, you can talk about the black community in a respectful, intelligent way. You don't have to use certain words to demean and degrade the black community. Like I said, I don't like what I see. I don't like seeing trash being left on the ground that we are leaving out there. We're destroying our own neighborhood. I don't like to go into Mattapan and I see trash in Mattapan, which Mattapan is basically majority black, but it's run down because we're destroying the neighborhoods. We're destroying our own neighborhoods. And then we want to blame white people for it. You can't blame white people for things that we are doing. We are doing this to ourselves. We need to stop it. We're allowing ourselves to destroy our own businesses. We don't even support one another. We don't support one another. And it's sad. It's sad that we sit here every day and we try to blame white people for our downfall, and it's not white people, it's us. It's us. We are our own worst enemies. It's us. I see it every day. Every day. I was in the airport in Atlanta, not this past Sunday for last. I was coming back home and I was in Hartfield. Hartfield, Chocolate City, workers, Chocolate City. And some of the demeanor of those people in that airport make you just want to shake your head as you walk through. It makes you just want to shake your head. We are the most unprofessional, rudest people that I ever came across when it comes to customer service. I'm just speaking the truth. Well, like I told you, Super, I go both ways. That's why I'm independent, man. I got the liberal views and I got the conservative views. I just speak the truth, man. It's all about speaking the truth. It's all about the truth. And that's what's wrong with this country today. No one really can speak the truth. I can tell you some good things about black people. I can tell you some negative things about black people. That's just where it is. And what really gets me about Tommy them, they don't really speak anything positive about black people. It's all negative. Brandon Tatum, all negative. The Hodge twin, all negative. Tommy, all negative. Only thing they speak is negative. When I see positive when I see positive things, I do speak on positive things. Well, I haven't watched Tommy lately, so if he's speaking positive things now to Super, more power to him, because I haven't watched him in a while. So I don't know what he's actually speaking on now. In the past, though, it was all negative. I try when I see behavior between black versus white restaurants. And what do you see me, Muck? Tell me, what do you see me, Muck? Because my interaction that past Sunday was just it wasn't good interaction at all. It wasn't a good one at all. We need to do better. As a group of people, we really do need to do better. And that's just the facts of the matter. We need to change our own mentality. We need to understand how to really make ourselves shine. We're not making ourselves shine by acting certain ways. We're not. And I have come a long ways. A long time ago, you will never see me criticizing black people. I find all the goodness, and I talk about all the goodness, but I would never talk about the badness, the negative. But now I got to find that balance. I talk about the good and I talk about the bad. And that's just the way it is. When I see black judges being successful on the bench and making changes, that's great. That's what we need. We need more black judges. We need more black attorneys, doctors, and lawyers. When you see those, you take pride in that. But when you see the ratchetness, you got to call it out going forward. And that's what I have to do. I got to call out both sides now, the good and the bad. But it is what it is. And then a lot of people say, "Oh, y'all see what Tommy sees." No, it's not. We see what Tommy sees. My problem with Tommy wasn't that he was talking about the black community. My problem with Tommy was the way he was talking about it. What's up, Robzilla? Hey, Robzilla, I've been trying to get. I thought I asked you this last time, man. How can I get in touch with you? I want you to do me an intro and outro. I want to know what you're gonna cost. What it's gonna cost me? That is true also, T. It is, you know, I guess you could say when they get trapped in that mentality, it's very hard to change it. It's very hard to change it. But we got to start somewhere. Got to start somewhere. You know, a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of black people don't understand that they could be doing much better than they are if they just change their attitude. They could make it much further, you know, but they don't want to change the attitude, which is very hard because they that mindset generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. So it's very hard to change something that when you're 4 or 5 generations in deep with that same mentality. It's kind of like going to the ghetto and you seeing the grandmother, the mother, and the child all living in the same ghetto. It's like, what the hell going on here? You got 3 generations living in the ghetto. And no one want to change that. Which is kind of crazy. That's crazy. I seen that. I actually seen that. 3 generations living in the ghetto. But that's the mindset. No one want to better themselves. You know, somebody would say, one thing I can say about my daughters, they're doing better than I did at their age. I can actually say that. And I can be proud of that my daughter's doing better than me at their age, at my age, when I was their age. So I can see that pattern kind of changed, you know. I don't think, I'm going to disagree with that super a little bit. I don't think they want to live off the government. I think they're trapped in a mindset where it's very hard for them to change things. Like I just said, when you see your grandmother living in the ghetto, you see your mother living in the ghetto, so you think it's okay to live in the ghetto. So it's a mindset that you need to change. It's nothing wrong with calling it out, me mug. It's just the way you present it, though. You can call it out, but you can find a better way of presenting it. You don't have to say nigga this, nigga that, and all this crazy shit. You ain't got to say all that crazy shit. You just call it out. Speak on it. But like I said, Tommy hurt himself by the way he presented it to the public. That hurt him in the long run. That cost him money. That's my whole point. You hurting yourself. And actually, you're no better than the people you're talking about because the way you behaving. See, that's another thing I don't like about Tommy. See, Tommy would talk about these ghetto families, females, but then Tommy turn around and he's laying with those same females. See, that didn't make sense either. You were sitting here talking about these females. You calling them hoes and hookers and ghetto and this and all. But then you turn around, those are the ones you fucking. Same ones you fucking. That you just asked what's wrong with exploiting stupidity for money. Yeah. but it's crazy though. It's crazy that Tommy sit here and tell y'all one day, yeah, that she ain't no good. Them hookers, they want to go to the club and get the nails done and they get the welfare checks and they'll get all this done and forget about the kids. But then you turn around, that's who he fucking. That's the type of female that he's fucking. I told you, super. Tommy words is what I didn't like about Tommy. And I ain't like the hypocrisy about Tommy either. I didn't like about the hypocrisy of Tommy. Like I said, he's sitting talking about these ghetto hoes, but then he turn around and go fuck those ghetto hoes. That kind of took away from his message. It's kind of like you're an alcoholic. You try to tell people they shouldn't drink, but then you drink every day. You get fucked up every day. That doesn't make sense. And JB Garner, you know, JB Garner actually, I ain't gonna lie. I think white people shouldn't be talking negative on black people. That's just where I feel on that. So that's why I don't like JB Garner. Cause I thought his message, and that's something else I like about Tommy. Cause Tommy allowed those white guys to talk negative on the black community. So he co-signed the bullshit that the white guys were talking about. And I'll never forget this right here. Do y'all remember when that guy slapped that little girl? That grown man, I think he was like 6'4" or something like that. And he smacked the hell out of the little girl. And then Tommy turned around and thought that shit was funny. And then, matter of fact, after that case was over with, him and that guy did a video together. And I thought that shit was so fucking wrong. You got to learn to separate the message from the messenger. Well, but you can't though. Because basically, if I'm out here telling you about X, Y, Z, I expect you to be a little cautious of who you mess with. It kind of like your boy, Mean Mug. You know what I'm talking about. It kind of like your boy. He's over there preaching out the Bible, but at the same time, he's doing the opposite. He's living the opposite. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You remember that Super? When that white guy smacked that little girl? The little girl was like 14 years old, 14, 15 years old. That was crazy. And Tommy thought that shit was funny. I'm like, what if somebody did your daughter like that? How would you feel? Hold on a second. Yes. All right, guys. I hate to end this, but I got to go. I will talk to y'all later. Y'all take care.